Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Morino Ravenberg here again. The topic that I'm going to be discussing today is curses. Are curses real? Yes, curses exist. The neat and official definition of a curse would be a heap of negative energy or a stream of negative energy that exists within someone astrally, basically corrupting that person's astral body and thereby inflicting anguish upon that person, whether it be in the form of misfortune, a string of accidents, bad luck in one's life or existence overall, or anything relating to that. That is what a curse would be classified as, more or less. So another synonym for curse is also a hex. So cursing, hexing, you name it, they're the same thing, generally speaking. I unfortunately have had experiences, experiences, not singular, plural, with curses. I myself have been cursed in the past, and I have felt and seen the effects of said curse and said hexes firsthand. And these weren't minor curses, these were the strongest curses you can possibly imagine. The only benefit that I can think of is that I came out of it stronger and better than ever mentally or astrally, and I am able to present my experiences with you guys and explain to you in short how you can free yourself from a curse. The benefit is that you don't need any magical experience, so you don't need to be a sorcerer or a magician to be able to deal with a curse or to relieve yourself from a curse. The only drawback is that depending on the severity of said curse or hex, that it is going to take a while to relieve yourself from said curse. In any case, okay, long story short, due to the fact that I was also attacked in my life by other magicians or other spellcasters, people that were family members, I'm not going to get too much into that, but aside from that, I also was plagued by negative entities that simply felt attracted to me because I possess a magnetic character trait that draws more malevolent entities to me. Of course, that's long in the past with the arrival of my patron and all of that, with me adopting him as a patron or declaring him my patron and so on. But this is all before I became a magician. I experienced curses firsthand, and it is literally just that. That's what it was for me, and this plagued me throughout my childhood. I'm 32 years old at this recording, and the majority of my childhood and my youth overall has been pain and misery, all instigated by the occult. I already discussed this in another video called The Dangers of the Occult and so on. But again, I'm not going to get too into that. I just have to mention this so that you guys get an idea. What was the cause for this curse? Like I've already mentioned that. The cause was also hereditary. So it was basically the astral version of biological. I inherited it from my family members or a certain bloodline, okay, from blood relatives, unfortunately. Of course, my forefathers, biological forefathers, not real forefathers. Aside from the things that I mentioned before, okay, the whole black magic deal, enemies attacking me with black magic and negative entities plaguing me and harassing me and so on. Those factors, okay, multiple of these factors were responsible for me being cursed, and as a result, I had a bunch of bad things happen to me. I'm talking about outright hatred and hostility towards me without any reason for that being the case. So people would just hate me without me even having done anything to them to deserve that hatred. People would simply despise me for who I am, and people would mistreat me and speak ill of me and all of that. You name it, via insults, via bullying me and all of that stuff, okay? And the worst part is that when you're cursed like that negative energy automatically cripples you mentally to the point where you have no control over it. In a normal situation, you defend yourself. If someone tries to attack you verbally or otherwise, you would immediately defend yourself as a normal, mentally healthy person. But when you're cursed, it is like being drunk. It's like being under the influence. You find yourself in an otherworldly an otherworldly state of mind. Okay, you find yourself in a, I'm not going to say elevated because it's not that. Elevated sounds too positive. You find yourself in a hopelessly degraded or a significantly degraded line of way of thinking or way of being, as a hopelessly degraded and undermined state of being, a corrupted state of being. You can think of a curse as being a computer virus that has simply corrupted all the files on your computer and thereby causing the computer to behave erratically and a string of other problems. It's the same deal with the curse, okay? The only difference is that it corrupts your astral body and thereby affecting physical actions in the world and related matters. And like I just said, the bad thing is that when this happens to you, you won't be able to defend yourself. It's just going to happen in such a flashy moment where it just happens and there's nothing you can do about it. You're completely powerless. Okay, it's like, for example, if you possess a certain character trait, people know this in general. If you possess a character trait that you are clumsy, then that automatically means that you won't be able to control your clumsiness. Nobody wants to be clumsy. If the world worked that way, then everybody would be perfect and divine. But unfortunately, it does not, and everybody knows this. If you're clumsy, for example, then you'll do things like stub your toe when opening a fridge, trying to get something to drink. You'll make a coffee pot fall and thereby have glass shattered everywhere. Things like these are going to happen on a regular or a frequent basis, okay, or at least a semi-regular or semi-frequent basis. And yeah, the worst part is, and people that are actually clumsy know this, is that you can't control it. You can't literally make yourself not be clumsy, even if you train yourself and so on, because it's simply part of who you are. It's an astral character trait, and it's the same thing with the curse. When you're cursed and something bad befalls you, for example, you just have a string of bad luck. I don't know, you're unable to find work. No employer will hire you, despite the fact that theoretically speaking and on paper, you are qualified for most jobs. But something just happens with every employer that makes them say no. When that happens, you can't control it. There's nothing you can say or do to basically nullify the effect of a curse. That's how a curse works. And you can imagine what kind of agony it is to be cursed like that. It simply causes you a good deal of pain and suffering and tremendous annoyance and agitation. Again, I have experienced this firsthand, and just thinking back to it just honestly makes me want to grind my teeth. I'm talking about this in a loose manner because I'm well above and beyond curses, of course, based on who I am. But back then it just caused me nothing but pain and misery, and just thinking back to it makes me want to grind my teeth. But again, it doesn't matter. All of that is in the past, and for me, so it doesn't matter. You can simply see it as being sick, but instead of being physically sick, having some physical affliction about you, like a fever or a rash or having the flu, it is astrally instead of physically. The affliction is astral instead of physical. And yeah, that's in any case what a curse is, and that's my personal experience with being cursed, and I know for a fact thereby, of course, what kind of stuff it causes, what kind of agony it causes one. Okay, that is it in any case. So bluntly put, a curse just makes your life a living hell depending on the severity of said curse. It could be anything minor, okay, from just minor misfortunes every now and then to something tremendously great, which was the case for me, which just basically affects most, if not all aspects of your life, or better said, all aspects, if not at least most aspects of your life. And it simply lowers your quality of life to the point where you have no quality of life whatsoever. As a matter of fact, when you have an adverse quality of life. So yeah, a curse is just the same as for example, someone being influenced magically in a destructive way. That's what a curse is like. The only drawback, the only difference is that curses are more subjective, okay, and therefore discussed more subjectively. That's the only way that I can phrase it. I don't know how else to phrase it specifically, but in any case, you guys know what I mean. The people watching this know what I mean, assuming that they can think rationally. Not insulting anyone that doesn't know what I mean. Watch the video again if you'd like. Maybe then you'll get it. And yeah, the other thing about curses is too that sometimes someone doesn't even know that they're being cursed or that they're sending out a curse to someone. People practicing witchcraft or anything like that, or just sending bad thoughts and negative thoughts towards someone else because they've been put at a misfortune or put at a disadvantage. For example, a colleague at a place that you worked at made you lose your job, and you deliberately sending negative feelings towards that person, whether you're a magician or not. Sorry about that. Whether you're a magician or not, a piece of food was stuck in my teeth. And just deliberately telling that person, I hope that this happens to him or her. I really hope that she loses. You'll see what happens to her. Whether you're aware of it or not, okay, some people that aren't even aware of it, okay, as long as your intent and the sheer emotion that you have is strong enough at that moment, then you're cursing someone. Doesn't matter whether you're aware of it or not. A lot of people aren't even aware that they've cursed someone. But the thing is that the emotion, okay, that is so intense at that moment automatically forms into a good heap of energy, and that heap of energy is basically being hurled at that person right now. That's it, okay. This is of course the basis and the foundation of magic, specifically witchcraft, for example, and other related forms of magic or occult or magical systems. It's all about intent, generating energy through sheer will or emotion, what have you, whatever, and then basically directing that energy towards a target, whether it be an item or a living, breathing target, you name it. That is it. That is pretty much how it works in essence. And a lot of people aren't even aware that they're doing that. There's also a phenomenon called the evil eye, in which people, out of sheer vanity and jealousy, basically place a curse upon someone. They place a curse upon someone simply due to the fact that they place a curse upon someone simply due to the fact that that person has something or someone that they want for themselves, and that they just can't deal with. Okay, for example, your neighbor can curse you simply based on the fact that you drive a nice car, and him or her asking you to give you a ride in said car, and you saying no, just snubbing off or shunning that person and saying no, get lost. Yeah, someone like that can give you the evil eye. It's called the evil eye because the concept is the same, like I just said. The only difference is that person is doing it on thought only instead of just uttering these phrases verbally. That person is doing everything by sheer mental capacity and intent. Okay, as in, oh, that piece of crap thinks he's hot stuff just because he has a new car. You'll see what's going to happen to him. Okay, that car is going to bring him nothing but pain and misery. Repeated thoughts like these, okay, automatically generates negative energy, which is being directed at you from your neighbor. That's what the evil eye is. And let's see, what else can I mention? Oh yeah, and last but not least, I've already discussed and talked about what curses are in general, and what the consequences of being cursed can lead to, whether it be minor or greater, minor or major. And last but not least, how to rid yourself from a curse. Like I said in the beginning or earlier in this video, you don't need to be cursed to you don't need to be a magician to relieve yourself from a curse. I really strongly suggest that you read the article below, because I have a nice list with bullet points in which I indicate how someone can relieve himself from a curse. But these are quite simple methods, really. And even then, the links that I placed in these bullet points automatically redirect to articles or online content that teaches you in a simple way, and simple yet effective way. Sorry, I had to burp. In a simple yet effective way on how to rid yourself from a curse. The first way to rid yourself from a curse, I'm going to discuss these in theory. Some of these that I know of and have personal experience with is using or making use of garlic and salt. Garlic as well as salt are strong spiritual cleansers, to put it that way, in the sense that they're good at clearing an area or an item of negative energy. For example, if you have an item that is cursed, putting it in a bowl of salt will help or should help, or in a bowl filled with garlic, or just rubbing garlic on it. In the same way, eating a lot of garlic and a lot of salty food, eating a lot of garlic and salty food is will definitely help you cleanse yourself, because it's not about the action that you're doing, it's about the intent, whether you're aware of it or not. Okay, if you're eating something, you're automatically eating the energy attached to it. So assuming that you're eating fresh garlic and salty food, or food with strong salty contents, then it will automatically cleanse you from any negative energy in the long run. It's only a matter of time then before you get relieved of said curse, before you are relieved from said curse. And what you can do as an alternative is also rub it on your body. So you can either take a salt bath, if you will, with kitchen salt. You don't need any other kind of salt, really, just mundane salt that you can buy at a store. And you can simply clean yourself by bathing with salt, by taking a salt bath, by taking a bath with salt that is mixed with, by taking a bath with water, that is mixed with a lot of salt. You can also rub your garlic on your body, or let's just say wet garlic, for example, or something similar. Let's just say just cutting up pieces of garlic and cloves of garlic and rubbing yourself or smearing yourself or parts of your body in with garlic. Let's just say your entire body from head to toe, without having to touch your genitals or anything like that. Just general parts of your body, your knees, your calves, your arms, and your neck, and so on. Just basic parts, the back of your ears, your face, without it bothering or burdening you. And that should produce the same effect. It's only a matter of time before this curse has been removed from you. Another thing that I didn't include in said article is also milk. If you take a milk bath, I'm not sure about drinking a lot of milk, but if you do take a milk bath, but you could also drink it in theory, then that can also cleanse you from the preferably full milk would also cleanse you from a curse. But be aware, okay, I'm not completely sure of milk, but I do have experience with it, and it did help. Let's see. And for the rest, you can simply consult the article, okay? It gets a bit occultist right now. You can try an egg cleansing technique, which simply put involves you rubbing a good deal of one or more eggs over your body for a certain amount of time, and what will happen is that the negative energy or the curse will latch itself onto said egg, and you've basically transferred the energy or the curse to that egg. But again, for all of that, I'm not an expert on egg cleansing technique. I know what it is in theory, okay? But you can simply consult the article written by Aaron Leach, okay, however you pronounce his name. The link is in the article below in the description of this video. And last but not least, the thing that I can mention is the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram and the lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram, also known as abbreviations LBRP and BRH. I remember also I did this, and this helped me greatly, okay? These are simply two occult techniques, basic occult techniques, Western occult techniques that you can simply practice on a daily basis, once a day. When I really first started out as a beginner, I mastered these articles and I mastered these rituals, and I did them on a daily basis. I felt myself being cleansed, okay? I felt clean after every ritual that I performed, after every lesser banishing of ritual of the pentagram as well as hexagram. I felt clean mentally. It wasn't a physical cleanliness. I felt mentally clean. I felt astrally clean. And I noticed after a while, after I had performed these rituals, that I felt clean, genuinely clean. Any negative energy, I felt that negative energy was removed and disappeared. And I also saw the effects for myself, okay? I had no more misfortunes befalling me, and all kinds of other negativity and all kinds of other annoying things happened to me, which curses are a direct result, or the direct cause. And that is pretty much it. If you can simply consult the article for the rest of all the information that you might need. That's it. Bye.